Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the official tutorial series for the GurShabadKeertan application. I am Ranjit Singh, a software engineer, also a student of Gurmat music program run by Guru Nanak Institute, Canada, under the guidance of Dr. Gurnam Singh Ji. And today I am going to introduce GurShabadKeertan application, which is expected to play a very crucial role for your Gurmat music learning journey. In this video, I am covering the background and inspiration for building this application and will cover all the features in the rest of the videos. So let's begin. Gurmat music program is structured typically based on theory of the subject and practical aspect of it. So in theory, instructors cover the background, importance of learning Gurmat Sangeet along with course content, which includes Sikh musicology, rags, tal, gurbani, compositions, swar, kirtan chauki, voice culture, etc. For practicals, students learn and perform singing of ragas, tals, bowls, for example, and hand expressions, rag-based compositions, kirtan chauki compositions, according to Sikh musicology, and practice voice culture also. And there's much more to it. So learning Shabad Keertan and music being a profound journey that not only requires dedication, a right instructor, a school, institution, an academy, but also the right tools and resources to enhance and refine your skills. Electronic tanpura, electronic tabla in the form of mobile apps, Sikhi to the max for gurbani in the form of mobile app or a web app, social media resources, for example, YouTube videos for lessons and exercises, are some of the most common essential tools and sources used today. So I'll explain the need of these resources and tools in this teaching and learning process of singing and practicing of GurShabadKeertan. So let's say an instructor wants to teach Shabad in given rag, any rag, let's say Rag Siri, the first rag in the index of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Now the instructor starts with providing notations in printed or digital format, and then teaches students individually or in a group and recites along the composition many times. This process is likely repeated based on the level of composition and level of students. As homework, the instructor would ask students to go back and practice the composition from those notations and come back prepared for the next class. And in some cases, in fact, generally, teachers provide students with audio recordings of the same composition. Now here's a challenge. For advanced students, practicing from notations may not be a real problem, but what is found is beginner to intermediate students find it hard to practice from printed notations even after learning in the class, and that limitation slows them down and takes much longer to make it perfect. For GurShabad singing to be performed in front of Sangat, like in a Gurdwara Sahib, a student needs to have full command on Sur, Tal, Gurbani, and this really requires a good amount of practice and the complete set of tools which can accelerate learning. So let's continue and talk about notations. Now when we talk about a student to have full command of Sur, Tal and Gurbani, the standard method used today is learning and practicing using written notations. As previously explained, an instructor begins this process by creating notations of the compositions to be taught. So what is found that even though the notation format is pretty much standard, there is no standard tool to make such notations and then play them for practice. And on top, there is no Gurmukhi support. As per my knowledge, instructors rely on tools like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Sheets, Google Docs, Google Sheets, etc. to write notations, but those cannot be utilized by any tool available today, helping them practice. And rather, a student either plays using an instrument, a real instrument, or a tanpura by reading the notations, which results in slow start. For advanced students, as I said, it may not be a big problem, but you still may need an instrument to get the feel during the practice. In fact, there are numerous books written by great Sikh ragis to teach rags and compositions using printed notations, but those are useful for instructors or advanced students who know how to read and play notations quickly. I'll cover the list of books in some other tutorial. So let's continue. So even though we need these tools and sources, the tools and sources are fragmented and spread across different platforms. Example, Tanpura or Tabla is one app. Then we need Gurbani app, for example, Sikhi to the Max. And then we don't have today is a notational player which could play us notations wherever we go without carrying a real instrument. And that necessitates an all-in-one solution. And last and the most important part of Gurmat music learning, may not be the last, but important part of Gurmat music learning is starting the journey by learning 31 basic rags of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Dr. Gurnaam Singh Ji's book Sikh Musicology is one of the most important sources which clearly describes the Sikh musicology of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the need for it to pursue Gurmat music education in the correct way. So let me introduce this application and how it can help you solve the challenges discussed. So you can see, on the left side of this screen, this is the very first launch screen. I won't really go much into the application in this video, but I'll just kind of give you a bit introduction of the features available. So GurShabadKeertan brings you a complete notation player which shows you Tal, notes, Gurbani in notation format and Gurbani in complete form. You have basic and important instruments like Tanpura, Tabla, Harmonium, Rabab, Surpeti, Surmandal, Manjira and other instruments. They'll be coming in the future upgrades. The work is in progress. This app introduces you to the 31 rags of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and brings new compositions composed by Dr. Gurnaam Singh Ji himself. So you will have 31 rags, Aro, Avro, Pagan notations, Survisthar notations. You'll have Shan of each rag and one beginner level composition for each rag. So you'll basically have 31 plus 31 melodies, you can say, Shan and a composition for each rag for all the 31 rags. This app also highlights a level-based approach for learning 31 rag. For example, rags from Bilawal Thaat could be the first rags. A very beginner student can start with those, and more on will be covered in the future videos. You can also export notation in PDF format with complete rag, Shabad notation, instructor notes, etc. Since this app is designed only for iOS, iPad, Mac OS because of limitations of other platforms, users are provided an option to export audio loops of the notations to other platform users. You can export notation as a MIDI file to use in your favorite DAW. For example, I like to create melodies with lot of instruments using a lot of VST plugins available. So I can use this app, export a MIDI file, import in my DAW and do whatever I want. One of the most important features is to be able to share the notations with others. Example, as an instructor, you could share the notation with students and ask them to practice and come back, so they may not have any excuse. In your teaching or learning process, you may want to record, in fact you will want to record and share with others. For example, as an instructor, you likely want to send your recording to a student, or student want to share with the instructor for the review. This app gives you an option to do notation and audio recording. On top of audio recording, you also have an option to do the audio plus screen recording. So you can actually record the entire screen while you play along. This allows for review of Sur, Tal, Gurbani and by highlighting things like timing of singing versus notation player, correct pronunciation, etc. This app brings you a complete tabla jodi player as well as most commonly used tals and especially in Gurmat music. A highly responsive pitch monitor to practice and improve your voice or for tuning instruments. There is another app which I developed long time back called Saj Tuner, and it provides the tuning of instruments mainly like Dilruba, Taus, Rabab, Sarangi. They'll be decommissioned soon, and the features will be integrated in this application. This app was not possible without BaniDB, which is the most accurate and complete Gurbani database from Khalid Foundation, and hence the app provides you complete Shabad with translation options, etc. So you have complete Shabad in one app, and you don't need to open side by side with other instruments, with other applications providing the instruments like Tanpura or Tabla. So you'll get everything all in one. This app is designed with one goal in mind, and that is to accelerate the learning and teaching process of Gurmat Sangeet wherever you go, with or without real instruments. This application is already available on iOS App Store, but that's an old version, and this new upgrade is a complete rewrite from scratch and will be available in few weeks' time. So since this is an introductory video, the rest of the tutorial series will focus on individual features. That's all for this video. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.